Greetings, boys, girls, and gender rebels. I'm Plunder Bunny, and today you are joining me for a corset haul video. So I reached out to What Katie Did because I've been a really big fan of their corsets for a long time. I have made videos in the past on their corsets when for example, they had a style that I used to be obsessed with called the baby corset. So I reached out to them and asked if they would be willing to send me some corsets to share with you all, and they said yes. So that is my bias up front. That's all my palaver. Let's get into corsetry. The first corset that I got to share with you all today is the Vamp Extreme corset. And the reason that I ordered the Vamp Extreme is because this, to me, is the classic essential of what a corset is. It is a beautiful black satin underbust with an extreme hourglass figure. Now, the Vamp comes in a non-extreme version if you aren't as naturally curvaceous, and even the non-extreme version, y'all, like, this corset is a curvy boy. This bad boy is, like, this to me screams corsetry. Like, when I think of a corset, this is the image that shows up in my head. I know people have different ideas of that, but to me, just a beautiful, elegant, black satin waist trainer that's nice and long and like just keeps you all tight and gives you that little waspy waist. Like, this is corsetry 101 to me. This little bad boy is the first staple of a wardrobe of someone who wants to get into corsetry. Now, however, corsets are not one size fits all. I ordered a 30-inch waist in the Vamp Extreme in this because I am naturally quite hourglass. If you're going to order a corset, there are a few things you have to bear in mind. You have to check your waist measurement, your rib measurement, and your hip measurement, and then also the height of those measurements. And that's because corsetry doesn't really work like t-shirts. Like, it's not gonna stretch to conform to you. A corset is gonna make you conform to it. That's why you kind of have to work with the corset to find something that's going to work with your bone structure and stuff to play along well. The reason why this to me is such a great basic corset though, like this and then the non-extreme version, this fit for you if you're naturally quite curvy or if you're chubby, this will work great. But if you're a little bit less curvy, if you're more athletic, like if you have much more muscle tone, your ribs are larger, for example, the normal version will be more suited. But this is just such a simple corset that most people are going to get a lot of use out of this. I think the only people to whom this corset will really let down are people who have really short torsos. But that's okay, because I have the answer to that later in this video. Hon hon hon. Sidetracked. This bad boy reminds me of my first corset that I really fell in love with. So this is corsetry for me. This is basic corsetry. I love it, and I'm gonna stop ranting now, but I recommend him. The second corset that I have to show for you today is the Luna Extreme Waspy. And this beautiful bad boy is the answer to short torsos, or long rib cages, or tall hip bones. This bad boy is so short. This bad boy is, I need my measuring tape. Where is my measuring tape? Aha. Okay, so this bad boy is, so he's 20 centimeters long or 8 inches long, which is excellent for a height of torsos of words that I am failing. Most corsets are on the 10-inch long range. A long corset is really great for keeping all of your chub in and all of that jazz, because unfortunately corsets have this great habit of squishing you out at the top and the bottom. So if you have a long enough corset, that doesn't happen. However, for the people whose torsos are too short for the average length of the 10-inch corset, this bad boy is the perfect answer. Also, if you don't really mind about the squishing out the top and the bottom thing, like, I'm not as bothered by a little bit of muffin top and muffin bottom. For me, I like wearing corsets, I find them comfy, and I kind of like the feeling of just wearing a little belt. So for me, even though I have a long torso, and I'm going to get a lot of muffining with this bad boy, I love wearing it. Ugh, I just love this corset. Alright bunnies, so the third corset that I have to share with you today is the Demi Waspy corset. And this bad boy is the MVP of today for shapewear. Okay, so first of all, he's stretchy. This is not a conventional corset. It is made out of an elastic material. It has a satin reinforced front panel, so it's not going to stretch out over your tumble area. And then it has steel spiral bones in there. So the boy is not going to roll down or up on your torso. The boy stays vertical the whole time. The boy holds you in tight. This to me is a foundation garment of foundation garments. I have tried so many of those silly little elastic like waist thingies. Like when I was getting off of my full-time extreme corsetry, a large part of it was the lack of flexibility that I had in my torso and wanting to be able to feel like I could move around again. I had no problems with the tininess of my waist, but the structure of the material, like full-time, was quite difficult. This solves that. Obviously this is not going to be, like, you can't really waist train in this because it's not really structured enough to reform bones and all that jazz. But if you waist train in something more structured and then pop on this bad boy when you're doing, like, for example, if you want to go for a hike, or if you want to like do something more physical and not lose your progress, like, because that was a big thing for me. I wanted to go on hikes. I wanted to, all sorts of stuff. Like, I love this corset. I wouldn't have ordered this were it not for Katie, of what Katie did specifically recommending it, because of how many times I've been burned by elasticy corsets. So what I'm saying is, like, even if you too have been burned by like elasticy corsets and you're like, I don't trust them, like, give this a go, because I am blown away. I'm blown away by this. The first two corsets that I showed you in this video, I have actually purchased with my own money in the past. I knew when I was reaching out to what Katie did that I was asking her to send me things that I have personally vetted and thought were great. I had no idea about this. I've no experience with this corset before. The first time I tried it on, it fit like a dream. I didn't want to take it off. I've been a little bit sick, so it's been hard for me to get around to filming the talking portion of this video, but I have just wanted to wear this every day since I first tried it on. But it's like, I have a rule where I don't allow myself until I've done the talking portion. But y'all, this corset is just, This is a really special thing, and I'm glad that Katie recommended it to me. So those are the 3 corsets that I had to share with you all today. Bunnies, I really appreciate what Katie did for sending me these corsets for free. I reached out to them to ask to collaborate, and I am really, really glad that they wanted to work with me because I really like their brand and I'm glad to rep them to you all. What else do I want to say? What are the words? Oh, if you would like to see some more like educational corsetry videos, it's been a really long time since I've done corsetry stuff. And I'm debating getting back into it, so like if anyone would like me to explain any of the processes along the way or anything like that, you know, show interest down in the comments section. Yeah. The links to the places where you can find all of these corsets are down in the description box, along with the names and the sizes of the corsets that I got. Yes, alright. I have also places that I do social medias if you wish to look at them, and they're down in there too, but you could just Google my name, it's Penny Ann. But okay, from the bottom of my little black heart, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye!